So thank you very much for joining for the glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam on this Friday, 1st of March. We, as discussed yesterday, we continued from the month of Kartik, the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And then we thought it's better that we go back to the first canto after the prayers of Brahmaji to Lord Krishna. So we'll start where we left off before Kartik. So obviously some recap is required. So we'll recap maybe the first couple of chapters very briefly, and then we'll continue, if time permitting, with the third chapter and the verse number 30. Today also is very historic, very important, very auspicious day for all of us in the line of ISKCON Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, because today is the 150th appearance anniversary of our Srila Prabhupada's spiritual master, His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Thakur. You know, by just hearing about him, we can actually get purified. And when we, of course, we won't have much time to glorify him enough, but at least I want to give some time after our recapping of the first couple of chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto. Then we want to speak a little bit about Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Thakur. So as we know, Srimad Bhagavatam is a dialogue, and there's a dialogue in between dialogue and in between dialogues. And we know in the 7th canto, there's I think 6 or 7 dialogues, being referred to one after the other. The first opening chapters, as we know, in many of our scriptures, the climax of the whole scripture comes right in the beginning. The narrator, the author, Lord Krishna himself in Bhagavad Gita, he gives us the summary of Bhagavad Gita in the 2nd chapter. The climax is given already in the beginning. What happens in the 1st and the 2nd chapter, especially the first 6 chapters in Srimad Bhagavatam, the first canto, is that these chapters describe the uniqueness, the background, the main contents, and the ultimate purpose of Srimad Bhagavatam. It's very, very interesting. So, before diving into this ocean of spiritual wisdom, what happens is we are made aware of our great fortune when we come in contact with this priceless scripture. So what Srimad Bhagavatam does is takes us, invites us, and holds our hand, leads us from our very limited perspective into Krishna's world of unlimited possibilities, where we see that there's a festival every day, every word is a song, and every step is a dance. So this is what Srimad Bhagavatam does. And it starts with the introduction of, yes, if you want happiness, but first we need to know who we are. And the first chapter and the 2nd chapter, Vishwanath Chakravarti takes us in his Madhurya Kadambini through the 14 steps of how we can know ourselves and how we can know God in just 14 steps in the first chapter and the 2nd chapter. So Vyasadeva, he first brings our attention to Lord Krishna. And he says, of course, in the 3rd chapter, that Krishna is the source of everything. He's directing the entire material creation, and he is the topmost, the ultimate, and the superlative enjoyer of his own creation and if he's in his own abode. What happens when we hear the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam, we can actually slowly, when we combine this hearing with our devotional service, as Haridas Thakur mentions in the Harinam Chintamani, that with chanting, when we combine that with devotional service, realization happens and we capture Krishna within our heart. What happens in Srimad Bhagavatam is that it establishes its purity right in the beginning, and this purity is completely unparalleled because dharma prochita kaitava. So in the beginning only, in the second verse, it sidelines all the materialistic ideas. It throws away and helps us in throwing away all the miseries and helps us in distinguishing between reality and illusion. And of course, many of us know the 6 questions asked in the first, second, and third chapters. So the sages have gathered at Naimisharanya. Shaunaka Rishi, on behalf of all the sages, is asking questions to Sutta Goswami, who's traveling, and they welcome him and they ask 6 questions. So first question is, what is the ultimate good for humanity? When we have settled in life, we've got comfortable position, family-wise, material-wise, then we start thinking about, okay, the society has contributed so much to my development. How can I contribute something back to the society? So this is a perfect question which we should ask. What is the ultimate good for all humanity? So it is not that, I want to do something for just this time or for this society or for this period. No. We want to find out what is ultimate good for humanity, for times to come. That's the first question. What is the ultimate good for humanity? Second is, what is the essence of all scriptural knowledge? Because of course we know there are 3 pramans, Pratyaksha, Anuman, and Shabda. Pratyaksha and Anuman have got some functionality, but their functionality is very limited. But Shabda, the words coming out of scriptures, the scriptural knowledge, it gives us the final conclusion. So here the second question Shaunaka Rishi asked on behalf of the sages is, what is the essence of all scriptural knowledge? Third is, why did Krishna appear in this world? Why did Krishna appear in this world? And when we're going to start with 1.3.30, 1.3.28, the first canto, third chapter, verse number 28, which is the Paribhasa Sutra of the entire Srimad Bhagavatam, the conclusion of Srimad Bhagavatam, Ete Cham Sakala Pumsham, Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam, Indrari Vyakulam Lokam, Mridyanti Yuge Yuge. That Krishna is Ete Cham Sakala. So after describing all the incarnations and sub-incarnations of Krishna, ultimately, Sutta Goswami says, Ete Cham Sakala Pumsham, Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam. So Krishna is the ultimate Lord. He is the final Lord. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So why did Krishna appear in this world? And we know Paritranaya Sadhunam, Dharma Sansthapanaya Vinashartham, Dharma Sansthapanarthaya Sambhavami Yuge Yuge. So he comes to protect and uplift those who are saintly persons, and also to attract living entities like us to re-enter the spiritual world. So Krishna basically takes a human form, Nar Akriti, so that we can get attracted towards him. The fourth question is, what were the activities of the Lord in relation to creation? Now, I should caution you here, when the second and the third canto starts describing the creation in detail, you might find that it is a bit too technical. And when things get technical, we lose interest in that. But Parikshit Maharaj is asking this question to Sukadeva Goswami, keeping in mind that even if we understand everything about creation, we should understand that in relation to Krishna. So what does the Lord do? He generates the entire material substance, and then he facilitates the creative process by expanding himself in different Vishnu forms. And thus, he gives us a stage for all the living entities, including those of us who are here, to live separately from God, which of course now we realize that we don't want to do that. So that's why his activities of creation are there so that we can enjoy the material world, but then his activities also are there as Krishna in Golok Vrindavan, in Vrindavan Dham, that we can get attracted and go back to him. The fifth question is, what were the activities of each incarnation of the Lord? Of course, we want to know about Krishna, we want to know about each and every incarnation. And the last and important question is, when Krishna departs from the world, where will the religious principles be found? Krishna Swadhamo Apagade Dharma Jnana Adhivisaha. So, okay, when Krishna goes back to his Swadhama, Krishna Swadhamo Apagate, when he goes back, he takes Dharma and Jnana together with him. So, Sud Goswami, by Sona Krishna and Sud Goswami, this conversation, by highlighting these 6 questions, he's actually highlighting the compelling power of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, that we must hear, we must hear, we must hear. And as we have heard many, many times, that our bhakti starts with hearing, our bhakti progresses with hearing, and ultimately our bhakti ends with hearing. If I'm not mistaken, there was Devananda Pandit, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I think I've mentioned here just recently. Sometimes I forget because, when we speak in many forums, it's hard to remember where did we speak what. So please forgive me if I am repeating what I've said recently. Devananda Pandit was a commentator on Srimad Bhagavatam, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't want to hear because there was a little tinge of impersonalism in his commentary. And then ultimately, with the request of all the devotees, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu agreed to meet Devananda Pandit. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, any study of Srimad Bhagavatam, any class of Srimad Bhagavatam must be divided into 3 parts. So if you divide a class into 3 parts, of course, as we know, it is the body, the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. And he said the introduction, when you are speaking on Srimad Bhagavatam, must relate to pure devotional service. The body of Srimad Bhagavatam must relate to pure devotional service. And the conclusion of Bhagavatam must relate to pure devotional service. So whenever we hear or speak about Srimad Bhagavatam, as much as possible, we should try to speak on about the pure devotional service. And then when we come to the 3rd chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, the 1st canto, it actually describes the goal of Srimad Bhagavatam. The chapter is entitled, Krishna is the source of all the incarnations. And the 3rd verse of Bhagavatam itself says that Bhagavatam is the ripened fruit of the tree of all the Vedic knowledge. And then what we should do, 2 types of people, both intellectuals, so it's called expert and thoughtful people, and those who are rasika, those who are wanting to taste the nectar. Generally, if you see in our association, people who are intellectuals, people who are very intelligent, they don't have much taste in arts and poetry and things we can relish. And people who are interested in arts and poetry and woodworking and cooking and stuff like that, they are not so much intellectually minded. But Bhagavatam actually appeals to both expert and thoughtful men, and also to rasika bhuvi bhavukaha. So it attracts both intellectuals and also both artistic. And in that chapter, 3rd chapter, again, what we are studying, the Paribhasa Sutra is there. Ete chamskala pumsham krishnastu bhagwan swayam indrari vyakulam lokam mridayanti yuge yuge. So yesterday when I put on the group that if we have time during this day yesterday, if we would have studied a few verses before 1:3:30 and a few verses after that, we would have realized that yes, 1:3:28 is speaking about Krishna, that after description of all the incarnations, Sud Goswami is describing about Krishna, who is the source of all incarnations. And then again in the 29th verse, he's speaking about what happens if we hear this verse, the Falashruti, as we described yesterday. At the end of the 14th chapter of Brahma's prayers, the Falashruti is described, and we discussed the various aspects, the various mentions of Falashruti in different pastimes in Srimad Bhagavatam. So this 328, it is a Paribhasa Sutra. Sutra means it is given in a code, and Paribhasa means which governs the entire book. So this verse, anything which you study in Bhagavatam must be studied in relation with this verse, 1.328. 1.328. Because apparently you'll find some contradiction somewhere. Someone else is referred to as Lord, someone else is referred to as Bhagwan. But when we come back to this verse, we'll understand that Krishna is the only Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam. So this way, we will continue our study of Srimad Bhagavatam. And as the verse 1.329 states, whoever carefully recites the mysterious appearances of the Lord with devotion in the morning and in the evening gets relief from all miseries of life. Of course, our aim is not to get relief from miseries of life, but in the beginning, if we can come to that stage, and in the morning we can read, and in the evening we can both read and hear. So if we recite, these verses, the Falashruti is 1.329 says that we get relief from all miseries of life. Now, Krishna's appearance, as we know, is very mysterious. Why? Because although he's described as Aja, he's Anadi, he's unborn, but he nevertheless takes birth, right? And these truths, these mysteries, we can only penetrate by topic of devotional service. Krishna says in 4.9 in Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma chame divyam evam yo vetti tatvatah tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mam eti so Arjuna. So he says that knowing these mysteries will actually liberate us from future births and deaths. And of course, Krishna's birth or appearance, and so also the Vaishnava's appearance and activities. Vaishnavara Kriya Mudra Bhujena. So we cannot understand the Kriya and Mudra, the actions and the postures of the Vaishnavas. Why? Because they are also connected to Krishna. So Krishna, we can understand that his birth, his appearance, and his activities are both transcendental. Why? Because otherwise, how could just reciting them or speaking about them offer us mukti, offer us relief from miseries of life? Krishna's actions, Krishna's appearance, Krishna's activities, they're all transcendental. And another mystery is that often Krishna's activities on this planet, they resemble those of ordinary mortal humans, but they are nevertheless transcendental and therefore mysterious. So this is the mystery of Krishna consciousness, of Krishna, of all the Vaishnavas. And for us today is a very auspicious day. We've got only 12 minutes left. I don't think I'll be able to do any justice to Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Thakur's glorification. Today is the auspicious appearance day of our Prabhupada's spiritual master, His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Thakur. And if you understand his contribution, his glories, his qualities, he gave us, he appeared on this day, 1874 by the British English calendar, 150 years ago. So today is the 150th appearance anniversary. And as we know, when a Vaishnava appears, it is very, very auspicious. Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Thakur, he had a glorious father, a glorious mother. His Divine Grace, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, one of our acharyas in our parampara, he was his father. But he, Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Thakur, he was a prodigy from the beginning. And before he appeared, Bhaktivinoda Thakur prayed to Krishna to give him a ray of Vishnu. And Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Thakur is called a ray of Vishnu. And is also called Lion Guru. He's called Singha Guru because he was very bold, very, very brave. And one of his very famous statements is, hard on yourself, soft on others. Hard on yourself, soft on others. That means, as far as he was concerned, he was very hard on himself in following all the rules and regulations. But he was very soft, very compassionate, very merciful, very kind to everyone else. he gave this proverb, of course, the hard on yourself, soft on others. So when we know the story of the mango, when he was 5 years old and he ate one mango without offering to the Lord, and when his father reminded him that everything belongs to Krishna, from age of 5, he up to the day he departed, he did not even touch mango. He did not eat mangoes. That was his resolve. Hard on yourself, hard on myself, but soft on others. He was so soft that one place he was visiting regularly, and he knew the devotees there. And when he came once, he found out that one devotee was not present. One devotee was not present, and then he inquired from the local devotees. He said, "What happened to this devotee?" And they said that slowly he was getting into some other association, and slowly he was going down. And a stage came when he left all of us. He left the association. And Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Thakur started crying. He said, "How can we even tolerate that being Vaishnavas? How can we allow this to happen?" He immediately sent one of his disciples to go find out where this devotee is living and bring him back to the association of devotees, and to ask him what happened. And slowly, when this disciple came, he was so embarrassed and he was so sad that he started weeping. Like he started sobbing. And then his Guru Maharaj Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Thakur said, "No, please don't do this again. We have got this one rare human life. We should take full advantage, become Krishna conscious, become perfect. And if there's any issue with the devotee communities, you please approach me, and I'll make sure that everything is taken care for yourself." And this way, first of all, he remembered that this one devotee is not present. He inquired, he sent someone, he brought him back. He gave him his mercy, he gave him his compassion. So much love he gave him that the devotee, after that, never thought of leaving. The culture of that age, he had trained his devotees in such a way that one time, Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Thakur, he was leaving in a car. In those days, of course, driving in a car was a big thing, especially for a sannyasi. So he was leaving, and it was raining very much. The entire ground was muddy. In those days, there was no pakka roads. It was just kacha roads. And he saw that one grihastha, he immediately, when the car started to move, he immediately gave full dandavats to his spiritual master who was leaving the place. So Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Thakur saw that and he stopped the car. And he asked that the grihastha, he said, "It is raining. It is so much mud here. Why did you do that? Why did you pay full dandavats?" And this grihastha, with folded hands, with his eyes on the floor, on the ground, he said, "Guru Maharaj, this is my only wealth. Paying obeisances to you is my only wealth. I don't have any other possession." So this was the training which he gave. This was the culture which it was there when Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Thakur was there. He also gave us one very famous, very profound truth. We discussed it in our Bhakti Vriksha class yesterday. It is called Drig Drishya Vichar. Drig Drishya Vichar means Drig, as we know, is great, Mahan. Drig means something which is very big. Drishya means to see, and Vichar means the truth. So one time, Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Thakur, he got ready and he came out to take darshan of the deities. And he didn't have his glasses on. So one of his disciples, he thought that, Gurudev has forgotten his glasses. So he ran back to his room and got his glasses. And when Bhaktisiddhānta put his spectacles on, then he asked him, "Why did you run and bring my spectacles?" So the disciple said that, at least now you'll be able to see the deities properly. So Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Thakur laughed at him and he said, "Do you think with these eyes, with these spectacles, I will be able to see the Lord?" He said, "I need bhakti in my heart, and only then I will be able to see the Lord." And we also see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he doesn't see Jagannath from the front. He sees Jagannath from the Garuda Stambha. And he knows that Jagannath won't look at me because I am a very fallen devotee. But Jagannath will look at Garuda because he is an advanced devotee. And maybe there's a chance that he will look at me. So following in Mahaprabhu's footsteps, Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Thakur, he also thought, I cannot see Krishna with my own eyes. So who is Drishta and who is Drishya? What is Drishya? So when we think we go to take darshan of the Lord in the temple, we are the Drishta and Lord is the Drishya for us. But actually it works the other way around also. That yes, we want to take darshan of the Lord, but the Lord also becomes Drishta. The Lord also becomes Drishta and he sees us. So we become the Drishya. Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Thakur gave us this concept of Driga Drishya Vichar. That not only when we go to the Lord to take his darshan, we also understand that Lord becomes happy when we as devotees go to him and take his darshan. And that's why when we see in our temples, when the pujari is offering all the items to the deities, at the end, he also offers it to all the devotees who are present. The incense, the lamp, the water, the handkerchief, everything is offered to the devotees also. Why? Because the Lord says, I am not complete without my devotees. I live in the heart of my devotees. So this, of course, in Srimad Bhagavatam, in the Amrish Maharaj's Leela, when Durvasa goes to Lord Vishnu, Vishnu is talking to Durvasa like this. But this again was reiterated by Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Thakur, that we become the Drishta and Lord is Drishya, but also Lord is a Drishta and we become the Drishya. So when we go to see the Lord next time, we should also present ourselves to the Lord with humility that, yes, my Lord, I'm very fallen, I have no bhakti, I have no devotion, no emotion, but please bless me so that I can get some little iota of your mercy, little iota of your devotion. We should go like that. And as we know, Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Thakur, after his father's departure, Bhaktivinoda Thakur's departure from this world, after Gaur Kishore Das Babaji's departure from this world, of course, before that, he had taken initiation from Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, and that also is a wonderful pastime. If you may allow, I can take maybe a couple of minutes more today, just not much, maybe go 2-3 minutes past 7 o'clock. So when Bhaktivinoda Thakur told Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Thakur that you should go and take initiation from Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, Bhaktisiddhānta, what he did is he kept all his intellectual prowess on the side. Bhaktisiddhānta was actually in those days called the living encyclopedia. He knew everything. Once he hears, he knew everything. So even though he was such an intelligent person, he was such an intellectual person, he was such an educated person, at that level, he kept everything on the side and he just saw the sincerity and the love and the detachment which Gaur Kishore Das Babaji had. He had amazing sincerity in his devotional service to Lord Krishna. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji had amazing love for the Lord. He was completely detached from the material world. So Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Thakur saw that this person, I want to take initiation. And Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, when he approached Gaur Kishore Babaji, Gaur Kishore Babaji told Bhaktisiddhānta that you are such an educated person, you are such an intellectual, who am I to give you initiation? I cannot give you initiation. And of course, Bhaktisiddhānta had relentless focus. He was completely focused, and his focus was completely one-pointed. And he used to come again and again and again, and Gaur Kishore Babaji will give him one or the other excuse. And one day he said, okay, then one day Bhaktisiddhānta told him that if you do not give me initiation, I will give my life away. And Gaur Kishore Babaji said, okay, I will ask Mahaprabhu. And whatever Mahaprabhu tells me, I will do that. Then Bhaktisiddhānta comes back next day. Then Gaur Kishore Babaji says, no, I have not spoken to Mahaprabhu. He comes again, and ultimately Gaur Kishore Babaji, after seeing the determination of such a person, he gives him initiation. He gives initiated name as Varshabhanavi Daita Das. As we know, Varshabhanavi is the name of Srimati Radharani, the daughter of Vrishabhanu. So one who has got the complete mercy of Srimati Radharani, Varshabhanavi Daita, Varshabhanavi Devi Daita Das. So he is the recipient of unlimited mercy of Srimati Radharani, who is daughter of King Vrishabhanu. And after the departure of Gaur Kishore Babaji and his father Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Thakur, he in front of the photo of his spiritual master, he gave himself sannyas and he gave himself the name Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Thakur. Then of course we know the interaction between Prabhupada and Bhaktisiddhānta, and coincidentally there's a gap of 11 years. First time when Prabhupada met Bhaktisiddhānta was in 1922. And then after 11 years, in 1933, he accepts formal Diksha. And then, of course, the important events in Prabhupada's life, 1944, he starts back to Godhead. And this way, they continue. And, there's a lot spoken about the first meeting between Srila Prabhupada and Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Thakur. The world changed from that day in 1922 when Narendra Malik took Prabhupada to see Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī, and the famous instruction came, go out and preach to the Western speaking world the philosophy of Lord Chaitanya. So this way, if we can hear about Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Thakur, meditate on his glories and chant more, hear more, read more, and purify ourselves today. Tomorrow, the class at the Bhakti Yoga Center, Hare Krishna Temple, is going to be Guru Tattva by Brajdeepika Mataji. She's going to explain us on, the importance of Guru, and especially from the Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Thakur's perspective. Thank you very much. I'm sorry I took a few minutes more, but it's such an important topic that we had to discuss this. Any comments or any reflections, any questions? Please unmute yourself and speak up.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, just a comment. The disciple succession is there in Bhagavad Gita as it is in page number 30, if anyone wants to know about it.
So, anyone wants to know what?
About the disciple section, that you just said, Prabhu.
Yes.
Bhaktisiddhānta Thakur, Gaura Kishore, it's on page 30 in Bhagavad Gita.
Yes, 32, 32, and 31, 32, yes, depending on the edition you have.
Yeah.
And that, of course, as we heard yesterday, that it was given to us by Kavi Karnapura and then updated by Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Thakur. Yeah, that disciple, we also want to find out whether, what we are doing is authorized and authentic. So that list is authorized and authentic. Any other questions or comments? Today is half-day fast, by the way, and we observe half-day fast, and we have a feast in honor of Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Thakur. And then, yes, we spend our day in more chanting, more hearing, and more reading. His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Thakur ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Granth-Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. One point before I want to leave is that generally you approach personalities in Parampara through Guru. So we approach through our Guru, then our Guru through Prabhupada, and then Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Thakur. But on their appearance and disappearance day, we can actually approach them directly because the mercy flows directly from them to us. Not that we are sidestepping, but this privilege we get, how on special days we get the gifts and the festival and the joyous occasion. So today is that joyous occasion when we can approach Bhaktisiddhānta direct and ask for his mercy and blessings. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Krishna.